Okay, good afternoon, all, and welcome to our third session where we're going to do rules and refereeing. I think it's going to be a very enjoyable session. I am 100% that you all will have hundreds of questions, and Srikanth is here to answer. We are really happy to have a world referee with us, and Srikanth, please take over from here on. And towards the end, I'm sure you'll want to put your questions in the chat itself. If things need to be explained, then you all can do it through the mic, but otherwise keep it to the chat. Otherwise, it will get chaotic. 10 of you all will want the same answer on your backswing and your turning and your injury. So we'll take it forward. Okay, take it forward. All the best, Srikanth. All the best.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm done. I don't have to speak.
So, as I told you, we are going to just go through the first few rules. That's from 1 to 7. We'll just go. Most of us know out of the 15 rules, first 7 is the basics, which mentions what we have to do to run a play squash. So, from 8 is the most critical part where the referee is involved. So single squash is played in a court between two players, each hand holding a racket to strike the ball and the court ball. All this you must be knowing as the basics. And that's rule 1. The rule 2 is a scoring where it's 11-point pointer rally system. There are alternate scoring system, but which is seldom being used these days. It's mostly 11-point pass across right from the club level, that is the beginner level, to the elitist level. We are using only 11-point pass pointer rally system. Rule 3 is the official. A match should normally be officiated by a marker and a referee. System of free referee, which is not used these days, not much. But, we use more of the referee marker system, and at the PSA level, we are using the referee and video referee system, which is very effective these days. The warm up initially was previously we used to have 2.5 minutes aside and then 90 seconds break before the match started. But now it has been curtailed to 5 minutes altogether, which is 2 minutes per side and 1 minute break before we start the match. The service, that's a rule 5. The player who wins the spin of a racket gets to serve first. That is the only way the toss happens in squash. That's a spin of the racket, which is very unique to the sport.
But even you are host.
No, every other sport it's a spin of the coin.
How do I do it?
Here it's a spin of the racket, and the winner has to serve. He doesn't choose whether to serve or receive it as in other sports. Yes, he has to serve.
Okay. And then change role to presenter.
And
okay, done.
The successive games, it's the winner of each game.
Now is this
gets to serve first.
Yes, to share. Right.
And of course, you alternate between the service boxes after you win every point. And the referee
Sorry, Srikanth, can you please slide the? Can you share the slides again, please?
or did we go offline in between?
Yeah. Your slide is not being shown.
Is it okay now?
You need to just share again.
Okay.
Okay, it's happening.
Is it okay?
Yes, it's come.
Okay. The rule one is a game.
And may I request everyone to mute their screens?
Rule two is scoring, which were you able to hear the previous points? Still, what did you hear? Like,
I could hear you, but maybe just run through it quickly again.
all right, okay. The rule two is the scoring, the point rally system, 11 points. This is a norm. There is an alternate scoring system of 9 points. It's not, which is very rarely or never used at all these days. It's only a point rally system, 11 points, best of 5 games. Sometimes you use best of 3 games based on the decision of the tournament committee. The tournament guidelines also clearly states beforehand that whether it's going to be a 3-game or a 5-game match. Then the officials are going to be a referee and a marker. The general system is referee marker system. Sometimes a single official might act as a referee and a marker. There's an alternate system of 3 refereeing system. And at the elite level of PSAs, we have a referee and a video referee backing them up, which is the best system. Which has evolved over a period of time. Of course, it's expensive. Then the warm-up rule. This you guys need to note this because there's been a change in this rule, and most of you have already adapted to this and are very well versed with this rule. But I need to underline. Previously, it was 2.5 minutes per side, and then a 90-second break before the start of the match. Now it is 2 minutes per side and 1 minute break before we start the match, and it has to start end of the 60 seconds break. It has to start. So if the player has to knock, he has to go in earlier. At the end of the 60 seconds, the match call will be made. Okay. And the service rule, winner of the spin of the racket gets to serve. That's the uniqueness of our sport. There's no choice for you to win a toss. And the spin of the racket is very unique. Because normally in all other sports, it's spin of the coin. Here, it's a spin of the racket. And the winner has to serve. He does not get to choose whether he can serve or receive. And at the end of a rally, the winner who wins the rally has to alternate between the boxes. And if he loses, the other guy gets to choose from which box he can serve first, and he has to alternate after that. And if the play continues as long as the service is good, as long as the balls are good, whether it's the ball is up, ball is not down, and ball remains within the play area, then the play continues. Intervals, a maximum of 90 seconds is permitted between end of warm-up, and that rule is now different. It's 60 seconds. And between games, it can be 90 seconds or 2 minutes based on the decision made by the tournament committee. So mostly in the juniors, we maintain 90 seconds, and in the seniors, we maintain 2 minutes. Because the world over, the seniors are done at 2 minutes. Intervals in case of injury or bleeding, specified as in Rule 14. And equipment change is a very, very key point. All of you, please note down the equipment change time permitted is 90 seconds still. Although the game break might be 2 minutes or 90 seconds, but the equipment change time is 90 seconds. So a player breaks a racket or loses an eyewear or contact lens or damages an eyewear or whatever, any equipment he damages, he has got 90 seconds to replace them. So he has to be prepared. Otherwise, it's tough. So we can permit only 90. That's a referee. Then Rule 8, which is the most important rule in squash, and which is very, very, very debatable and judgmental, because a lot of us have different opinions when it comes to interference. We are trying to narrow it down to now it has improved a lot, like where the consensus is more now. So the 4 points you'll have to note down on interference is a fair view of the ball, one is rebound from the ball, unobstructed direct access to the ball, space to make a reasonable swing, freedom to play the ball directly to anybody. So these are the things we notice in interference. So a striker who believes that interference has occurred, he or she may accept the interference and play on. Which will, accepting the interference, you'll have to go and play. There's no, you cannot appeal for a let later. Or without accepting the interference, you stop play and request for a let, and the referee decides whether it's a let, stroke, or a. So once you accept the interference, you have to go through and play. You stop play, then the referees will make a decision. So it is preferable to stop play if there is a possibility of colliding with the opponent or hitting him or her with the racket or ball. So always, as a referee, we should prefer safety more than playing the ball. So safety is the first priority for us, because since both the players on the same side of the court and we are
to switch you back
in a confined space, safety is the top priority.
So once
as a referee, I practice that. I prefer safety more than all the other things.
It said somewhere, I can't remember, I think documents or something, but its name was rules and reference. Names will come.
When player stopped as a result of interference, the general guidelines are the player is entitled to a let if he or she could have returned the ball, and the opponent has made every effort to avoid it.
As in documents or something.
Player is not entitled to a let, no let.
Thing called
if he or she could not have returned the ball or accept the interference and plays on, going through. Interference was minimal, so all these are knowledge. He is entitled for a stroke. The opponent did not make every effort to avoid the interference. The player would have hit a winning return. The player would have struck the opponent with the ball, going directly. Swing and front wall interference. The important thing we noticed in interference is the key words are affected and prevented.
Samir,
if the interference has affected your freedom to play to the front wall or your freedom of swing, then it is a let. If if the interference has prevented you from playing the ball to the
all right. And
front wall,
Samir, May 1st, you said you're going
to
swing, be sending.
Then it's a stroke. So affected and prevented is the
work it out
keywords, and which has to be used when you act as a referee. You need to say that to the player. I saw the swing affected. Means the player will understand that it's going to be a let. I saw it swing prevented. Means the other player, the opponent will understand it's going to be a stroke. So that's it. Those are the keywords you have to use when you act as a referee. All the referees, please note down. These two words are very, 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 very important. Simple. The definition will be so simple for the players to understand when we use. Other attempts, it is part of Rule 8, 8.1.2. Normally it's a let. If the other player could have made a good attempt. If he has made an attempt. A further attempt, it is deemed if there has been a downward swing. Because the windmill shot. where you fake. You show the opponent that you're going to play a shot and then play it the next time to just to deceive the opponent. Once you bring the downward swing, it is considered an attempt. Once your swing starts, downward movement starts, it is considered an attempt. So any appeal after that is going to be only a let. Please, again, this is the key point. All the referees have to note down, players also note down. Once you have made a downward swing, it means you have made an attempt. It doesn't mean like you'll have to go through the full shot. Once the downward swing starts, it's an attempt. Once that is done, it is a second attempt for any. And on the further attempt, if the referee considers that you would have had the time to make the shot like a good return, then he'll consider the interference and give you a let. If the return would not have been good, that is, if you could not have reached, or the ball goes and dies in the rear end of the board on the second attempt, the referee might consider no let shot. Because the second attempt wouldn't have been possible for you to get a let. So even your appeal for a let will be disallowed. Turning, very, very important rule, 8.13. There is also part of 8, which was a separate rule before. Now it is part of interference, 8.13. Turning will be better explained when we it has to be physically, we can meet each other, we can demonstrate it more. But you guys have seen it enough to understand. Most of you, you can understand very well. There are two types of turning. One is a physical turning, and other is a mental turning. Physical turning is where you virtually turn around to strike the ball, which is go around, make one full circle, which is very, very obvious to everybody, and that's turning. Mental turning is the one which every player, opponent, referee have to be, because at the pace of the match, most of us might miss it. Mental turning. Mental turning is you let the ball pass on one side and play the ball on the other side. Once it comes back from the back, which happens. So once you let the ball pass to your left, then by then you had moved to your further left, and off the back wall, the rebound from the back wall, if you try to play it with from your right side, that is mental turning, which you have let the ball pass you on the left and trying to strike it from the right side, which is mental turning. So in case there is an appeal for interference, only a let will be there. But anything from the back wall, a lot of people are confused with that. Anything not now, much people have got clarity now. From the back wall, there is definitely stroke situation. If the player has not mentally turned, if he has let the ball pass on his left hand side and still is ready to play on the left side, and the opponent is not cleared, there is a possibility of a stroke from the back wall. So that you'll have to be clear. There's definitely a possibility of a stroke from the back wall. But if there is turning, that is where the referees will be caught on the wrong. So you'll have to be really, really sharp, and the ball is past the player. Before you make a decision, you'll have to be very, very clear whether he had turned mentally. And if you're going to avoid it. If it's going to be a let, no problem. If it's going to be a stroke, then yes, you'll have to be careful. And off the back wall, again, there's no let situations also where the other player has cleared enough sufficient front wall to play a safe shot, then no let is also possible in those situations. So back wall is a place where this mental turning mostly happens. So, and if the non-striker had no time to avoid the interference, the let is allowed. On turning, the striker could have struck the ball without turning, but turned in order to create an opportunity to request a let. No let. Deliberate turning. This used to happen earlier, not much now. A wide service, make a turn, put the other player in front, appeal for a let, keep delaying play. So that is not acceptable. If you see it has been deliberate from the other player not to appeal for a let by deliberately doing it, and no let. And that will ensure that you will not get an attack. Straight away you get done with that. Just note down on rule 8. Any questions, you just jot it down and I'll get type it. End of the session, you can chat in on rule 8. So turning, that is the thing. So be very careful when you when the ball goes off the back wall and the other players interfering in the shot. If it is a stroke situation, think before you deliver the decision. Hold it back. Nothing wrong in that. Take your time to deliver the decision when it comes to turning. Because we at the PSA level, it happens so fast. Sometimes I don't mind asking my video referee, saying, "Did you see a turn there?" But I don't even have to ask. As a video referee, we are so sharp. We are watching only for these poor movement from the player and turning, deliberate movements where we are immediately we have a chat to the master referee saying that I've seen this. Please, this should be the decision. Something like that. We chat with the master. The 3 refereeing system again. You have the option of asking your side referee, but that's not there much. So turning is very important. So as referees, you have to be really careful because a lot of referees have made mistakes. Nothing because the pace of the game is so fast. You have to be careful. Hitting an opponent with the ball. The player strikes the ball before reaching the front wall, hits the opponent, or the opponent's racket, or the opponent's clothing, or any part of the opponent's equipment. The return would have been good, and the ball would have gone directly to the front wall. Then it's a stroke. Of course, if there has not been a turn. If there had been a turn, then of course yes let. But if it is dangerous, you'll have to get into contact. Because sometimes on turning, some players deliberately play dangerous shots to terrify the opponent. Very, very wrong. And if the ball goes to the side wall and if it not have gone directly to the front wall, if have gone indirectly, then it's a yes let situation. You don't have to think twice. Mostly it will happen in the post situation where it will go if the ball is going to the side wall and it strikes the opponent, then it's a yes let. And if you feel the ball would not have gone to the front, if it had stuck low on the foot, at the ankle part where it would hit the tin, you feel that it would not be enough. Then it's no limit. So all 3 situations are possible and the ball hits an opponent. But mostly the ball hitting an opponent ends up in a stroke. Mostly. I have encountered situations where I've given bullets and yes. But knowledge is a very rare scenario. Yes, if you are unsure, then not have gone directly. You should be happy to play a let. At the PSA level now, even if the ball strikes the opponent, the players are happy to play a let. It's as a goodwill gesture, as a sportsmanship gesture. They don't take a point out of hitting the opponent. They normally request the referee that they would be happy to play a let. Of course, there are players who take the point also. So referees, of course, we have started doing that. We call it a stroke and say like, it is a stroke situation and would you be happy to play a let on that or you want a point? But some players take it, are not happy with that question. But, so because it is embarrassing for you to be overruled after giving a stroke. You give a stroke and then he says, I'm happy to play a let. So we give the option to the players whether they would like to play a let. mostly 99% of the players at the PSA level, both the men and women are happy to play. They don't like to win a rally. Very, very rare cases. And if it is a genuine, like if it is a deliberate movement by the opponent to come into the players, you can go in for a sorry, again, that is a deliberate dangerous play. Careful on those things. And if it is deliberately hit by the player on turning where he should not have done it, or very firmly hit where he could have stopped and appeal for a let. Again, you will have to apply the conduct. That is what normally we do it as a referee. Appeals, either player may stop play during the rally and appeal against any lack of call by the marker, or they please. Normally, the general way to appeal is please, or please, just please. Just a lot of players do that raising hand, which is not the right way to appeal, because the referee might not be sure whether, and sometimes the players say, I never appeal, I just flag. So it's best not to. So we do not encourage players to flag during the rallies. It is best to say please and stop. If you want to appeal, it has to be instant and it has to be very clear. Clear appeal. So once an appeal is made, sometimes you can players appeal on the marker's call also. End of the rally, they do it. Referee might agree or disagree, but most of the time the referee might stop as and when the marker calls. As if the rally is going to end in the affected players' side, then they don't mind it. But of course they have explained it to the other player that so the ball again. This is a very important rule.
Don't be with shoes and all in the house.
We get into this rule only when we are in the midst of a match. Most of us. I have done that.
We've already got
because
dust in the house.
We don't read this rule that clearly, which is very, very important. So we only change. We are ball breaks, which allow a change of ball, and the let is allowed for that rally. That rally, in the sense, if the ball breaks during the rally, the rally is a let. If the broken ball is noticed beginning of a service, then the let for the previous rally. That's the previous point. So all these things are very critical, and we don't focus. So this is a very important point. Ball rule rule 11 is very, very important. So
guys,
the occurrence of the breakage of the ball is a key. If the ball breaks, end of a game, and the players are out, accepting the game is over, and then they subsequently find it beginning of the next game, they find the ball broken even before it is served. They have lost that game. The player whoever appeals has to made an appeal end of the game before leaving the court. So that is a very key point, which not many of us, like as referees, we'll have to note this down. We'll have to keep as a special note in our referees manual, because these are the points which will be very, very critical during a course of a match, where we'll be stuck, looking out for help from seniors. Because as a junior referee, I have been stuck because not reading. For a period of time, you master this rule, then you know what to do at the breakage of the ball. Then this is on the rally, and if the ball is not broken, the ball is fine, but the player wants a change, and you ask, it is up to the referee to decide whether he needs a change the ball or not. Unusual about the bowling. But if he is sees the ball is fine, he has to say firmly that he sees the ball fine. Players have to continue. The player who has requested has to continue with the ball. But if both the players wish to change the ball, then you should be happy give a change of ball. Not frequently. Not players won't do that. Should be happy to give them a change of ball. Both the players are unhappy, then there's something wrong with the ball. This happens at the beginning of a match. During the warm-up only, the players might see the ball is not behaving properly or excessive bounce or less bounce. Because not all new balls are good. So should be, if the players are happy, we are also happy. Give them a change of ball for the players. And that should not be so very frequent. Then one other point which is not given in the rule book, which is the white ball. White ball change is very, very key. Most of the players are playing white ball, be it the juniors, be it the seniors, because glass court has become the norm everywhere. Most of the tournaments in India, thanks to SRFI, it's happening everywhere. A lot of people have come out with glass court. Bombay, Jaipur, Delhi, Chennai, everywhere we are seeing glass courts happening. And so from semi-final onwards, we are into glass court. So rule change for a white ball is different, and it is only for the white ball. Please make a note: it is not the rule change for black ball. The rule change for white ball. The player has to appeal for a change of ball. He's entitled. He has to appeal for a change of ball. End of third game. Underline end of third game. And he'll be given the new ball beginning of the fourth game. The key point is the appeal has to be made before the player leaves the court. End of third game. It's a big point, massive point which has to be noted. If the player makes the request after that, after leaving the court, when he is leaving the court, he has to tell the referee, I need a change of ball. And the referee will make an announcement before giving out the new ball, both to the player and to the audience. To let them know that a new ball has been given. This is a very, very key point. The appeal for a new ball has to be made at the end of third game. Because this has been done previously, they could walk in beginning of fourth game and still appeal for a ball. This has been done precisely that there have been instances where the player is not aware that he wants a change of ball, but his co-players or his coach has noticed there's that the ball change, a new ball might better suit him. So this is the reason he not to give the ball once the player leaves it. The player has to make a decision end of the game. So the player has to be aware that he has to plan change of ball, not from an external perspective. And if the ball becomes wedged in any part of the court, a let is allowed. That is obvious. Where there is side wall, big gap in the side wall to the floor or side wall to the front wall. Normally, that's where the ball gets. It's very rare occurrence. A let is allowed. And that's it. The white ball change is the key. Please note down if there's any questions. Note it down for the end of the session. A let may be allowed if the ball touches any article in the court. No let is allowed for any unusual bounce. That is, unusual bounce is not that's court conditions, which is common to both the players. So there is no let on unusual. Distraction rule 12, very important thing, because I get a lot of questions during from my referee colleagues and players. They send me messages saying that player is after playing the shot, he makes noise with his shoes or something like that. Those are all distractions. So if the distraction was caused by one of the players, if it is accidental, let is allowed. Unless the player's winning rally was interrupted. Even if it is accidental, but it was going to be a winner, then the point to the player was winning return. If the distraction is deliberate, then rule 15 has to be right. If there is a noise, there's a sound, or if there is an appeal, sometimes they say, yeah, they celebrate the shot. But ultimately they find out the opponent has returned this ball. So, and if the opponent is going to return and stop appealing for that noise from the other player, the other player loses the rally because of his early celebration, which happens. The juniors have this. But sometimes the player accepts the rally, and once he has continued the rally, if he stops, any interference has to be at the point of any stoppage has to be at the point of. Then the referee can make it. At some events, crowd reactions during a play may occur. To encourage spectator enjoyment, we will not apply this rule unless it's just big sudden noise. Otherwise, a cheer or because during a rally it's going to be a good pickup, people might cheer. It's acceptable. Player has to continue. He appeals for a let, he'll lose the rally. He cannot. Minimum encouragement from the crowd has to be accepted and continue. If it is loud or isolated noise, like a coach, over enthusiastic coach or over enthusiastic supporter, there's big loud noise on a particular pickup, or something falls down, some unrelated incident outside the court, is a loud noise, or a sudden. This happened to us, a child crying. It happened to us in Commonwealth Games. Suddenly, child started crying loudly. It was one of the players stopped, and that's acceptable. That definitely is a let's keep issue. Because I'm going to get distracted. One of us, or both of them would have got distracted. But as a player, I'm going to play the rally. I'm distracted more. I'll definitely stop. And it is acceptable. There's a loud, isolated noise, distraction. But normal cheering and we'll have to continue. And most of the players are aware and they continue. Fallen object rule, again a key rule. From rule 8 to 15 are very important for refereeing point of view, coach's point of view, player's point of view. Very, very important. We need to read as many times as possible. 8 to 15. Whenever you go for a match, as a player, as a coach, as a referee, we need to just refresh these. Very, very key. It helps us when we are going into a crunch situation. We're going to sit for a match. As a coach, as a referee, comes automatically to you when you've gone through these just before going into it. A player who drops a racket may pick it up and play. So, fallen object, except for the racket. Any other equipment is considered a fallen. Racket is not considered a fallen object because already the player is at a disadvantage because of the racket falling. He has to pick it up and go, then play the next shot. I've seen once or twice that happened where a player has picked up the racket, gone and played the next shot. Or probably at the speed of Rodriguez level. I've seen him do it. Next shot. Very, very rare. So racket dropping is not considered a fallen object. All other equipment, your bandana, your eyewear, your bracelet, your chain, anything falls from your person, from your body, considered as a fallen object, you'll stand up with the if observed by the referee. if the player or the referee have not observed that the rally has finished, the result of the rally stands. If nobody can appeal for a fallen object after rally, it is not accepted. So if the fallen object appeal has to be made immediately in the fallen object. If it has been cited. Even the rally is continuing and you have seen that object, and after the second zone, you can stop. Not after the end of the rally. Once the rally is ended, and then the referee or the player sees an object, the result of the rally stands, fallen object is. But it is the referee or marker's job to stop the rally if it's object. You can stop the rally immediately. So the last point highlights that if the object was not seen until the rally ended, it had no effect on the outcome of the rally, the result of the rally. If the object falls from a source other than a player, elliptical. If sometimes peel of something might peel from the wall and fall down, or an external object, a ball from the other court might come and fall in. All those things falls for a net. So anything other than the players falls, other than the player's person or from the equipment of the player, then elliptical. From the racket, you might have the damper, small ball-like thing, which is mostly in Dunlop rackets we have it. If that falls, it's not the racket, so it is a player loses part of the racket. If the part of the racket falls, then the racket totally falls, yes, like. There's now like the result of the like he can pick up the racket and play the rally. But a part of the racket falls somewhere. The bottom of this one, hollow part of the handle, which is the cover, it falls down. Those are all fallen off. The whole racket falls, and the player is going to pick it up and continue the rally. We don't give a point to the opponent. Part of the racket falls, then any part falls, loose object falls, then point to the opponent. So note down rule 30, key rule again. Note down any queries you have on this. Then illness, injury, and bleeding, rule 14. This is always we have doubts on this. This is initially we go to the illness. Illness is not injury. Illness is something. Asthma is an illness. Breathlessness, illness. Feeling like vomiting, nausea is an illness. Cramp is an illness. All these are illness which does not give any interval for the player. No break. He has to concede the game. If he has a game to concede, take a game break. But if he's not, doesn't have a game to concede, he has to. Match is over. All these things come under illness. So it's a very important rule because a lot of us get confused with illness and vomiting. Player vomiting, it is illness. Straight away, match is over. Vomiting, injury the court, unplayable, or any activity, any action from the player, if it causes the court to be unplayable, then the match is awarded to the other player. Because the opponent will not wait for the hearing. Illness is the problem of the player who is ill. No time will be given for that. Next is injury. Injury is classified into 3: self-inflicted, contributed, and opponent inflicted. Self-inflicted is which is caused by one's own action. I fall down. I twist my ankle, then I inflict it on myself. So self-inflicted is permitted 3 minutes to recover. And if he's not able to recover in the 3 minutes, he can concede a game, take the game break, wait 90 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever the game break is, he can take that. In addition to the 3 minutes, he's not able. If he's still not able to come back on court and resume play, he has to concede. So that's a self-inflicted time permitted. So any action, of course, which has caused the injury, where the injury is a result of an accidental action by both the players, where there's a collision, which happens often because both the players are on the same side of the squash, both the players are in the same area, play area. There's definitely a possibility of both of them going into each other. So if it is a result of an accidental action by both the players, then an injured player, then you categorize that injury as contributed, then permit 15 minutes to recover. Contributed injury entitles a player 15 minutes. Of course, he can come back in between earlier also. He can back in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it is. And he'll be given time enough to warm up. Both the players to time enough to warm up. And if he is not able to come back in 15 minutes, the referee has a discretion to permit 15 more minutes by his judgment, the injury, which is purely at the discretion of the referee, and nobody can influence. Purely does the decision of the referee. If the player is injured because of the opponent's action, then it is opponent inflicted. A racket slipping out of the opponent's hand, going hitting, or the opponent is deliberately gone into the opponent, going to the ball. As if, like, sometimes players do that. They show an action to the referee that they're making enough effort to go to the ball, but in the process, they will take the other player off, which is opponent inflicted. Sometimes this is the first situation I just told you is the incoming player. Sometimes the opponent, it may be the other way, player playing the ball, standing on a shot or clearing into the incoming player. He might come in with a force into the incoming player. He might have played a poor shot, block his shot. He might come that way, clearing into the incoming player and pick the opponent. Then it is opponent. For this, the time is dependent upon the gravity of the injury. Then, if it is really serious, player might lose the match. The opponent is not able to recover and come back to play. The injured player gets. But as a referee, you please be careful when you make your decisions on classifying what injury it is. You'll have to categorize the injury very carefully. Because once you have categorized the injury, you cannot reverse it. It's not good to reverse. So take your time. Consult your senior referee because you have the time to go down. Before you go down and ask whoever is there, just if you're not sure, definitely ask your senior referee. Others who have seen it, what it was, or you can refer to your video. Because decision is, you can definitely consult your seniors or your tournament referee. That will be the best. Like if you're on the way. But But if you're sure about what you've seen, then you can categorize. As a referee, it's your job to inform the injured player from the opponent and the crowd, audience, of what injury is, what is the classification, what is the time the player gets. When normally, for a self-inflicted player is entitled to 3 minutes. Right. The self-inflicted injury, Mr. XS got a self-inflicted injury, is entitled to 3 minutes. Right. This has to be announced for everyone's understanding. For end of 3 minutes, just before that, you can call. Before 60 seconds, you can let the players know. Play will resume in 60 seconds. Play will resume in 30 seconds. Just to give a heads up to the players for them to be ready to pick up. And if he is not able to come back, then again, if he has got a game to concede, you can announce. Mr. X has taken his 3 minutes. Now he's conceding one game, take his game break, 90 seconds, 2 minutes. Even that announcement has to be made so that everybody is aware of what's happening. That's the way you keep the crowd and the players. It's very important for the referee to keep everyone aware. And the contributor injury, again, you make the announcement. Player is settled for 15 minutes. You can say he'll be back on board in sufficient time. You don't have to tell him he gets 15. You can speak to the player and tell him he's settled. You can ask him how long will it take. This fight. And you say, okay, the player he's got an injury or contributor. He should be back on board in a couple of minutes. He'll be back on board. A recovery time 5 10 minutes. And if it is extended again, you can make it. Need some more time. And if he's not able to come back in 15 minutes, then you let the player go assess the situation. And if it is genuine, you can give the additional 15 minutes, which is purely at your discretion. Definitely, you can take the tournament referee and the tournament director into consideration before giving the additional 15 minutes because they're help at hand. Because there will be seniors there. Definitely their advice will. But decision is you are the referees, finally. But you can have the input. And of course, the physio or the doctor also might be there. They will also be helping you. They will be of great help. The physio and doctors are available on site. Sometimes, some matches you will not have, some tournaments you will not have the cushion of having the physio. So that time you can consult your seniors. Because we want a fair outcome. It's not applying the rules. We apply the rules for a fair outcome of the match, not to just to blindly. Rule is there, yes. But application is that's very good referee. Judge and opponent inflicted. Yes, we have explained. Reflect you played your opponent all your causing injury. You're heading. And now next we go into bleeding. So forget the injury. What's happened? What all we have discussed, self contributed, opponent injury. That is injury. Illness, injury, now it's bleeding. Illness is one part we have discussed. Injury we have discussed. Now we are into bleeding. Third. All separate issues. Treat them separately. Bleeding, forget all the timings. No timing. There is no classification. No self-inflicted, opponent-inflicted, or for the timing sake, we don't classify. But we see, if it is bleeding, it is just blood. He gets time enough to stop the blood, get it treated, and then get back. But if it rebleeds, then it is a self-inflicted. We go into injury, self-inflicted. So that is very important. Bleeding, you give them as a referee, you give them sufficient time to recover. Get the physio, get the doctor, get the tournament referee, get the tournament director, everybody involved. The bleeding is there. Get the court clean. Meanwhile, the bleeding is has to be treated outside the tournament area. Then player has to go out. Sufficient time has to be given. Once you have decided, make announcement. If it's being telecast live, you're allowed to make an announcement. Let the audience know. Make the announcement for the audience who are seated there. Let them know what's happening. Bleeding is very, very critical as well. But once the bleeding, if the bleeding recurs, then it is certain there as well. He will not be permitted just to go out conceding the game. Conceding the game. The rebleeds gone. Not at all. It is only the second part of the self-inflicted where so if he has a game. Otherwise, normally we don't let that happen because nowadays we cover it up with tubes and all that. Bleeding will not be visible. We ensure as a referee we will have to ensure that also. Because we don't want any such stoppages or any decision on a match based on the rebleeding. It's very embarrassing for everyone. So ensure when the bleeding happens, ensure that it is properly handled so that there's no rebleeding. Even if there is rebleeding, have it properly protected with the black tubing. These players do that, where the rebleeding is not visible. If the bleeding is a result of the opponent's deliberate dangerous play, then it goes into contact. It will be straight away contact because it's opponent inflicted injury. We do that. But normally for bleeding, we give them submission. If a player is unable to stop the bleeding within the time permitted, normally it is certain we don't time permitted does not happen because most of the time we start only after the blood stops and everything is done properly protected. So time permitted doesn't happen. It does not happen. But if there is a rebleed and where the blood can flowing blood can seen, then you'll have to stop. Normally the opponent doesn't, even if a slight blood is visible on the wall or something, an opponent doesn't objectivate it and take it natural. He feels very unsupposed to do that. An injured player may resume play before the end of any moment. Right? He can start earlier also. That's what that happens mostly in contributed where he is permitted entitled for 15 minutes. He might come back in 4 minutes or 5 minutes and says, and they are given sufficient time to prepare to resume. Be it preparing the attire or equipment or going in and the ball. They're given sufficient time. Conduct on court, very important. 15.
Srikanth, I'm just jumping in. Srikanth, your voice is not coming very clear. It's cracking. Do you have a set of headset with you?
I do have a headset. Yes.
That may be a little bit clearer because everyone is struggling. They've been struggling for a while.
Oh yes, you should have told me that because I asked them before the start of the session. They said they were happy with the audio. I'll just put in my headphones. Hello,
Yes,
Cyrus.
yes, can hear you.
It's better now.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So conduct on court rule 15. Uh, Offensive, disruptive, or intimidating behavior in squash is not acceptable at all. It's a very, very thorough gentleman's game, so we'll have to behave that way. So the various misconducts or audible or visible obscenities, verbal and physical abuse, dissent to an official, abuse of racket, unnecessary physical contact, excessive racket swing, unfair warm up, sting, laid back on court, deliberate or dangerous play or action, and receiving coaching during. Okay, so audible and visible obscenities, you know very well. Sometimes the players use any expletive on court, be it they're abusing themselves for a bad shot or whatever it is. If it is audible or visible, he might show it. He might be unhappy with himself and he might curse. So that is not acceptable. Or verbal or physical abuse of the official or anybody outside court, anything like that has to be penalized. Dissent to an official, which is mostly, which happens very often, like any like waving a like hand at the referee or saying something to the referee. Any dissent, throwing the racket, hitting the ball, whacking the ball. So that can be classified in abuse of racket and dissent to an official. An abuse of racket or a court or ball might be because of a bad shot from him. He might do that. Or unhappy with the decision, he might do it. So abuse of racket, there are two possibilities. So dissent is a very frequently happening. Unnecessary physical contact. This happens where the player takes a line to the opponent, and not to the ball. Where he could have played the ball, instead he goes to the player. It has to be checked immediately and has to be warned. Or if he repeats, he has to be stroked. And like, depending on the gravity of the offense, you will have to give the physical check. Because if unchecked, that will be very, 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 very dangerous for the match and for the event organizers, everybody. It will be very, very bad. Excessive racket swing is where you get the other player into, which they say fishing for which is excessive racket swing, bringing the other player, or by excessive racket swing you might injure the other player. So these are all you'll have to check the conduct. Unfair warm up happens in mostly in juniors, as most of the seniors are aware. In juniors also now most of the juniors are aware, and but you'll have to notify this as a referee. You'll have to notify unfair warm up. Tell them, ask them to share the ball. If it goes unneeded, then you'll have to give them a warning, or if they repeat it, a stroke will be very, very strange. But you can do that. Unfair. Time wasting, yes. Deliberate knocking of the ball before serving, continuous tapping of the ball, or taking a long time going to the front wall, walking, just going around the court. Or you just observe and give them a warning. Or if you feel that he is doing it again and again, then you can give a contact stroke which will fix the issue once and for all. Laid back on court has to be checked immediately. Even it is a partial, if it is a very small time, a few seconds, then you can have a friendly chat with the other player to say, please ensure that you are on court the call of time. Because the players have to come and play at the call of time. That's the way it is now. Because we are giving a 2-minute break mostly. So when we call, we let them know 60 seconds before. We let them know 30 seconds before. So it is the players have to be on court and start playing moment the time is called. So we don't wait like in the good old days where the players can hit the ball for some time. We don't wait for them. Players have to start playing. Referees have to ensure that. And players also make a note that one moment you get on court, time is called, low ball. And laid back on court, very laid back on court can be a contact stroke. Or marginal lateness can be a contact warning. But it has to be immediately tackled by the referee. Don't feel otherwise to talk to the player. Contact is not an easy part to handle for any referee because it's reprimanding anybody is difficult and you need guts to do it. And you have to be thorough with the rule to do it. So you'll have to be. So going through the rules helps very much in good conduct of the match. So, and deliberate or dangerous play, of course, you'll be watching it, and it has to be checked immediately. Immediately, any dangerous play has to be a contact stroke, minimum. If it is going to be so dangerous, then a match is also not bad. I wouldn't mind giving a match because safety is our priority. Receiving coaching during play, it happens mostly in juniors, sometimes in seniors too. It has happened to me in a PSA where I won a coach. It has happened in PSAs too, but very, very rare occurrence. Juniors, yes. The juniors are more tuned to looking at their coaches, which is very wrong as per the current rules. If the coaching, if it is going to be changing, then fine. But now, the current rules, receiving coaching, there are a lot of coaches and players around the world recommending that this rule can be removed. But as of now, the coaching cannot be done except during the game break. So receiving coaching during play is punishable. So a player guilty of an offence may be given a contact warning or penalized with a contact stroke. Depends on the severity of the offence. If you find it straight away, it does not need to necessarily go from a contact warning and upwards. Can be a straightforward contact stroke. But if for an offence, you're given a contact stroke, you cannot come down anything less. If he's going to be late on court, then you've given him a contact stroke already. Then again, he's going to be late on court, not give a contact warning. It has to be above or a contact stroke again. So that is very important. If you're given a contact warning, you can scale upward to contact stroke or a contact game or a contact match. But it need not be necessarily sequence like from. It not have to start from contact warning. You can start from a contact stroke also. The severity of the offense is high. So next is the markers calls. These are very, very specific for the refereeing and markers. The referee has to be a good marker. A lot of people think that marking is not up to my standard. I should be a referee. You'll have to be a damn good marker to become a referee. The marking skills first before going into refereeing skills. Marking skills is the most important. Once you are a good marker, your scoring, your calling is sharp. You're 50% up in the match. Then rest all is watching the situation and giving the calls. Once your marking calls are good, the play is also smoother. Nobody is going to stop. But if your marking calls are bad, then players are going to stop, which is going to affect you as a referee too. So at our national level, we have referees and markers. But where there's a referee and video referee, you're the marker and you're the referee. So you have to be a very good marker. And referee to handle that situation where you are acting as both as a referee and a marker. So your sharps have to be your call very sharp. Then your decision making is automatic. Once you get these things right, your decision making is going to be good as a referee. A good marker gives the confidence in the players. It improves. If your marking is going to be good, the players believe you more. So this is the way you know how the scores are called. 10-all is a key point where a player. This is the call. Player must win by 2 points, and it's if it is a video refereeing thing is there, you have announced the availability of a player review. Control of a match is very important. Control of a match comes with your calls. And no let call made by the mark after the referee has disallowed an appeal for a let. Yes, let, no let. All these things are stroke, no let, yes, let. These are all calls by the markers, which has to be parroted after once the referee has given his call. If you are a referee and marker, you just call it once. If you are a marker, you'll have to repeat the referee's call and the score. Stroke 2x87. That's the way you make the call. Referees calls, time calls are purely referees. No marker shall call the time. Half time, play to start in 60 seconds, play will start in 30 seconds. All these are all referees calls, not the markers. Sometimes I've seen markers calling, which is wrong. It is the referee's call. And the stop play, yes, a marker also can call a stop. A referee also can call a stop if there is any situation where the player has to be stopped. Yes, let, no let, stroke. These are the appeal calls. All of you know that. So these are the conduct warning, conduct stroke, conduct game, which you advise a player, whatever it is, and it has to be applied with rule 15. The refereeing systems I told you before. The referee marker, sometimes it's the referee and marker, the same single individual. Then the referee marker, a separate referee and a marker. Then the 3 referee system, which is not used these days, which used to have a central referee, right referee, and left referee. Sometimes some tournaments they are used, but of late there's 0 tournaments where I see this being used. This we don't have to go through. And the video reviews is the PSA style, expensive. So their player has 1 review per game, and if it reaches 10-all, he has got 1 review. If it reaches 10-all, whether he has used the one given to him during the 10 points, he cannot pay it forward. So it's 1 review up till the 10 points. If it's 10-all, then he gets 1 review which is after the 10. So that cannot be carried forward, the one before. And referee can request any number of video referrals. He can go to the video referee decision on excess appeal. That's the way we call it out. And pickup decisions only are permitted for video referee. Out, ball hitting a tin or that, flipping the tin. These are all the referee is not permitted. Video referee is not permitted to take a call. The match referees. Pick up decisions where there's a double ball, yes. That is, we refer it to the video referee, and he supports the match referee in deciding that. In 3 referee, you have a video referee also. But the 3 referee, as I said, it's not happening these days. A player has 1 appeal per game at 10 all tiebreaker. Both players will have 1 review each. Even if a player has already lost their review earlier in the game, unused reviews will not be carried over. If a player's appeal is overruled, then no further appeals. If he wins the appeal, then if it is upheld, then player continues to have his appeal left. Now we're going to play a video.
Srikanth,
Of-
I'll just jump in.
Yeah.
We are running short of time, and in fact, we've overshot. So instead of the videos, we've just got some questions. If you can just get some questions, because automatically this will cancel the timing. So if we can just get into some questions now, please.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
So if you can just get your chat box, if you can see there are a few questions over there, if you want to go through those, or I can even just guide you. So you can stop sharing your screen now.
Okay. So how do I do that? I just close the screen. Okay. Done.
Okay. Yep. So now you're right in front. So if you can just click on the chat box.
Chat box. Yes.
Yeah. So you will get some questions, and
yeah.
you can scroll all midway through.
Okay. I see.
Chetan has been active and asked a lot of questions. So.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
A lot of good afternoons. Good afternoon to everybody.
Go up to 3:44 in timing, and then there are some questions.
Oh, right. Okay. 3:44. Okay. Okay. Marker gives the decision before the referee, like marker gives stroke, and that cannot happen at all. That should not happen. Marker cannot. Marker has only the call given by the referee. If the marker is done, bad marker. The referee has to tell the player that the marker jumped the call, and marker has to be reprimanded, and next day the marker has to be removed from the tournament. No chance can be given to such a marker.
Yep. Okay.
Then if a player dives for the ball and then opponent slips on the sweat and injures himself, it is definitely a contributed injury. You don't have to think twice, because it is contributed by the sweat of the, definitely not a self-inflicted, not opponent inflicted, which is accidental. The dive was not intentional. The dive was accidental. To play the ball, he has dived and he has recovered and given the space. Now the opponent slips on the sweat, contributed injury. So who's Chetan has asked that question. So hope Chetan has got that. While a match is going on and one player's racket is broken, broken racket, end of rally. He can go change the broken racket. During the rally, no decision.
During the rally, broken the racket. So
nothing. You have to complete the rally. Complete the rally, and you can change. If the rally is against you, nothing. The result of the rally stands. You can go change your racket end of the rally in that 90 seconds permitted. And then the next is when position to a referee to give either let or stroke. As the ball is about 2-3 feet away from the player, standing on T point. Sometimes the referee gives let, sometimes stroke. Can we all have to fix one decision? That is not possible. It depends on the interference is purely judgmental. See where the ball is, where the outgoing player is, where the incoming player is. It is not an easy, it's a straightforward situation. 2-3 feet away is not the question. Whether the player would have hit the ball, and if the shot was prevented, stroke. If the player would have not hit the ball, did not made an effort to go to the ball, not reach the ball, no let. If the player was there to play the ball, but it was only affected, then it's a yes let. If it was prevented, straight a stroke. So you cannot have a straightforward decision unless the situation has to be seen to make a judgment on that. So the 2-3 feet away is not the criteria. It is the thing is the ball playable? Where is the outgoing player? Where is the incoming player? Was the shot prevented? Was the swing prevented? Or was the shot affected? Was the swing affected? That is the key. So your decision has to be based on that. So let or stroke is not straightforward on that.
In 403, there's another question.
403. If main referee wants some rest, absolutely not. Who's the question from? Aishwari Verma. You cannot change a referee at any point in time unless the referee is indisposed. I've seen situations where the referee is sick, who is like if he is unwell, then there is a possibility, and that also needs an intervention from the tournament director and tournament referee. Then only there can be a change of referee. Only if the referee is unwell. Otherwise, nobody can change the referee at any point in time. And it is a very, if you have said this, seen this practice, I'm really sorry. It does not practice commonly. That is a very, very wrong comment. All SRFA championships are held very well, and most of the referees and tournament directors are very, very well versed. 100%, I'm 110% sure that this would not have happened. Any other questions?
Can a player throw his racket to strike the ball?
No, absolutely not. You cannot do that. I'll classify it as a referee. I'll classify it as deliberate distraction and award the point to the opponent. That is a deliberate distraction.
And if during the match is not complete and someone enters the court, what happens?
That is punishable. Someone, who is that someone?
Yeah.
That is a big question.
And final question, can you just explain mental turning again, please?
Mental turning is let the ball pass on one side, play the ball on the other side. Now, when the ball has passed you, see, when the ball is in front of you, use shape to play a backhand and then play a forehand, no problem. As long as the ball is in front of you, you shape a backhand, then play the forehand, your shape, but the ball is still in front, you play. That's not a turning. But you let the ball pass on the backhand side, then it comes out of back wall, comes to this side, I strike the ball this side, it is mental turning. Ball passed me on the backhand side, then I struck it on the forehand side. That is mental turning.
Basically, when the ball goes around you.
Yeah, it goes around you. Once it goes to the back wall, it comes back. On the back wall, it happens. It happens only coming back from the back wall.
Right. So basically, when you go around the ball, it's a physical turning. When the ball goes around you, it's a mental turning.
Perfect.
Yep.
And somebody is turning you with your opponent, it's contact. It's contact. You'll have to classify that. It depends on how, if it is seriously hit, but you can see the intent of the player. No? So you classify accordingly. You can give him a friendly warning not to do that. But after turning, I've seen where in one situation, opponent has been hit by the other player, but it was not deliberate. He played the ball just to demonstrate that he was going to hit the ball, and it was a let. But in the rule, it says if you turn and hit the ball, it is a stroke to you. But it's purely, you'll have to be judicious to apply that rule. You'll have to be judicious. Rules have to be applied judiciously. How you interpret is how good your referee you are. And in one referee, somebody has asked, what, can a referee, where I saw that, can you complain against a referee? Of course you can. Complaints do come against referees.
I'd like to just end on this.
I can see Abhinav Sinha, Dalip all smirking.
I'd like to end on this note because everybody complains about the referee, and I keep complaining about all our referees all the time. Although we all
a referee can complain on the player and the coaches.
although we love you very much. I'd like to
A
thank
player,
Srikanth
a player and coach. Yeah, man.
for
Okay.
spending time with us, and thank you all participants.
It's been wonderful. It's a wonderful time with you guys. Thank you. I'm sorry about the audio in between. I'm really sorry. I failed to notice it. So apologies for that. Thank you all. It's such a pleasure seeing you all on screen live. I will follow you guys on WhatsApp now.
Thank you.
Just
And,
Thank you, Srikanth.
and I'd like to see all of you all tomorrow. We've got another exciting session linked in tomorrow. So see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Srikanth.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being with you guys.